if you're going to ask me, if FPRD did not sign the law, are we going to blame the government now? Hell yeah! We're going to blame, whether PRD signed that law or not, we're going to blame this admin because this admin is in power. At alam ng presidente to at bahagi ito ng kanyang plano nung siya ay umupo bilang kalihim ng agrikultura. So, Trolls, kamusta na ba tayo ngayon? Umupo bilang kalihim ng agrikultura ang ating Pangulo at alam niya ang kanyang mga gagawin. Alam niya kung ano ang solusyon dito to break the cartels and to make sure that the farmers get a fair bargaining price for their product, while at the same time making sure that the consumers are not paying too much. Nagawa ba? Ang masakit sa damdamin is, alam niya ang solusyon. May ginawa ba? Wala. May access siya to the rice tarification fund. May ginawa ba? Wala. Nakiusap ba siya sa kanyang pinsan? Pa-repeal mo nga yung rice tarification law, hindi yan nag-work. Ginawa ba? Hindi. Are you still going to blame the Duterte administration for the rice tarification law when the president, with all his political capital, with the fact that his cousin is sitting as the Speaker of the House and a person who seems to be quite cooperative with the administration, Senate President Mig Zubiri, do you honestly think that they would say no to the president if he said, repeal that law? And did he ever ask? So, if you're going to ask me, if FPRD did not sign the law, are we going to blame the government now? Hell yeah! We're going to blame, whether PRD signed that law or not, we're going to blame this admin because this admin is in power. This admin has still a high political capital when dealing with the legislators. Alam ni Presidente ang solusyon, alam niya kung paano gagawin. At dapat ginawa niyang priority ang pag-repeal ng Rice Tarification Act o pag-amyenda nito. Nagawa ba? Alam ko, nag-hearing. Naipasa ba? So, if you're asking me if we're going to blame this government, hell yeah! Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. Ito ang Luminous. Ulitin ko po, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat na nanonood. Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. Ito po ang Luminous. I think I'm having a bad hair day. Kaya mukhang ang gulo-gulo ng hair ko. So, I hope everybody is well. So, this afternoon's live is simply to talk back. Kasi hindi na namin sinasagot ang mga trolls sa wall namin kasi nagkakaroon sila ng traction. Instead, we will answer here during sa live para wala rin silang pangalan at mailabas pa rin natin yung mga topic na kailangan sagutin. So, according to one research group, SEA siya, sabi nila na for the recent year, ang #1 importer ng rice is the Philippines. Now, ito yung problema. Everybody started thinking it's a bad thing, which in a way, yes, it certainly is. Now, the reason nag-i-import tayo ng rice is because kulang ang production at what is available here is too expensive. So, what the country does para magbalanse ay mag-i-import ng additional nang sa gayon, mafa-flood yung market. If the market has a lot of rice, then the consumers benefit kasi bababa ang presyo ng bigas. Diba? High supply, high demand, higher supply, the demand goes down. Diba? Or the demand can stay, but you have a high supply, the prices naman will go down. Next, the market, when it comes to importation, is about balance. Okay? So, ang binabalanse natin, dalawang interests. The interests of the consumers and the interests of the producers. Hindi natin gusto na dehado pareho. At di rin, mahanap tayo ng paraan para pareho ang angat. Ito yung problema. Kasi ang nangyayari is somewhere in between the market, the consumers, and the producers is what we call the middlemen. And that is the main problem of our agriculture. The farmers have no capacity to store. Right? So ito yung logistic system. They have some of them don't even have the capacity to bring their products to the market, to the consumers. So nagre-rely sila doon sa mga middlemen. Ang mga middlemen, they provide services such as but not limited to loans. So hindi because mahirap kadalasan yung mga farmers, ang gagawin nila, kailangan nilang umutang para makapag-produce, para makapagtanim. Kasi habang nag-iintay sila ng kanilang ani, may mga gastusin din sila. So, ang mga usually nagpo-provide ng loans na yan are the same middlemen. At ang collateral dyan ay yung ani. And therefore, pag hindi nakabayad ang magsasaka, sa ani nila kukunin. Or meron silang arrangement na binibili na yung ani in advance. Okay. So, the reason gusto ng mga farmers yan is kasi hindi nila kailangan mag-store. Pwede silang they barely have enough to dry. Kung bigas yan, kailangan pang i-dry, di ba? And kung kulang yung facilities ng farmer para magpatuyo, nang sa gayon mas tumagal yung kanilang palay or bigas, then they have to unload right away. So essential yon. Grain storage, dryers. Dryers give you a longer shelf life. Dryers, polishers, and so on. Ngayon, so they have to bring yung ani nila dun sa mga mills. That way, they can store it a little longer. They have some time para makaabot sila dun sa merkado. Hindi sila masyadong at the mercy of the middlemen, but it only buys them a little time and eventually they will need to sell. So ang ginagawa ng mga middlemen is may threat. Ang mga middlemen are so rich and powerful na sila rin mismo ang ibang mga importers. And therefore, pag ayaw ibenta ng mga magsasaka at the prices that they feel is fair to them, sasabihin lang ng mga middlemen, ay babaan nyo yung presyo kasi kung hindi, bibilin ko na lang yung imported at yun na lang ang i-retail ko. Okay? Okay pa tayo so far with the balancing, di ba? And so, kadalasan, kayang-kaya ng middlemen gipitin ang farmers natin. So, nakita ni Presidente Marcos ito. Nakita niya ito yung problema. Nung panahon ni Marcos Sr., mayroon tayong FTI, food terminals. At tinutulong na bilhin yung mga produkto dito sa mga terminal na ito. Ang mga terminal na ito may konting storage facilities. The idea was to make it bigger para lumaki ang storage facilities at maaari din magtagal yung produkto. Pwedeng ang magsasaka ang mismong maghahatid and so on. So ngayon, ito yung problema na. Ang ginagawa ng middlemen is ginigipit yung mga farmers so that they have very little power to negotiate. And therefore, makukuha lang nila yung murang-murang presyo. Now, ang middleman, may option siya. Bili siya dito sa magsasaka, babaratin niya, syempre, para kumita siya, para ma-maximize yung profit niya. But at the same time, may available. Kung mag-import kaya siya, makaka-import siya bagsak presyo, hindi na niya kailangan mag-negotiate sa mga magsasaka. Ngayon, ang problema ng middleman is sometimes, hindi tayo dati, no may NFA pa, binabawal ang importation during harvest period. Ngayon, ang dapat nagbabawal niyan is the DA and the DOF. At the same time, na magre-restrict ng importations at a time na marami ang ani or local na locally available, locally grown na pagkain. Na rice particularly. So, since the Rice Tariffication Act, na-liberalize yung pag-import natin. Dati kasi ang importation is only through the NFA. Nang sa gayon, nakokontrol at certain times yung mga importation ng bigas. Naaalala nyo dati, panahon ni Digong, ang NFA administrator ay si former Colonel Jason Aquino. Stricto siya. Unfortunately, he had a board. Yung board na yun, nakaupo ang DOF and several other ex-officio na ang interest nila, including BSP, ang interest nila ay yung importation. Nagpipilit sila noon na magpa-import ang DFA to allow the importation during the harvest time. Nung hindi pumayag si NFA administrator, pina-Senate hearing siya. And eventually, he was forced to resign. So, in the course of the Senate hearing, prinopose yung Rice Tariffication Act. Alam nila na as long as somebody like Jason Aquino would sit in the NFA, magkakaproblema yung mga importers. So, itinulak yung Rice Tariffication Act. Niliberalize, wala ng barriers to importation. Ang barrier to importation kasi is an exception sa sa Global Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. Yung global agreement na ito says that all signatory countries, and by the way, si GMA ang nagpapirma sa atin dyan, the member states sa GATT should not allow any kind of barriers to the trade of goods. Lalong-lalo na tariff and non-tariff barriers. So, pero nakakuha ng exemption ang Pilipinas na nag-quota system tayo dun sa importation nang sa gayon mapalakas natin ang local production, ang mga farmers. Natalo yung goal na yon dahil hindi kinontrol ng mga previous governments yung mga hoarders and smugglers who are also, general rule, the middlemen. Lumakas ang middlemen na ito to the point na tinawag sila ni Senator Amy Marcos na cartel. Ngayon, with the liberalized, and unfortunately, isa sa binatikos natin din sa Duterte administration ang pagpasa ng Rice Tariffication Act. Inopose ni Colonel Aquino to even while he was sitting as NFA, and then later on, even as he was removed, he continued to protest this. Bakit? Kasi lalong humina yung power ng magsasaka to negotiate. Dahil wala nang hahadlang sa pag-import ng bigas. Ang pwede lang ihadlang is occasionally kung kailan yan papasok. At ang nagde-decide niyan o tumutulong sa decision na yan ay ang DOF. Ang DOF po ang mother agency ng Bureau of Customs kung sinong gatekeeper sa importation na yan. Okay? Are you guys still with me so far? Mahalaga na alam natin to kasi ang daming trolls at nanlilin lang. So nung nilabas natin yung finding na number 1 importer tayo ng bigas, sabi nila, bakit i-blame si BBM? Di naman daw niya kasalanan, kapabayaan ito ng mga previous governments. Excuse me, hindi po. Actually, hindi nagpabaya ang executive noon, ang NFA at saka si Presidente Duterte. Pero ang lakas-lakas ng lobby ng Senado, led by Senator Cynthia Villar, who by the way also imports rice. So sila po ang nag-impose ng Rice Tariffication Act. Ang kanilang sugo doon sa administrasyon, sa executive, ay si former DOF Secretary Sonny Dominguez, who was pro-importation, pro-rice tariffication. O sabi ni Pangulong Duterte, sige, pipirmahan ko to. Malakas nga ang lobby, malakas ang bulong, and so on. We can repeal this later on. Tignan natin if it is really going to help the farmers. Ang selling point ng rice tariffication is yung taripa dun sa bigas at tataasan pa rin nila yung taripa. Yun yung means of controlling the supply. Nang sa gayon, hindi tayo mafo-flood ng cheap imports at makakaproduce pa ang mga magsasaka. Are you still with me so far? Okay pa ba tayo? Still following? Okay. So, unfortunately, hindi po nangyari yon. Nilagyan kasi ng classifications ng bigas. So yung classifications na yon, yung pinakamaganda, medium, and basically dust, yung lowest category. Pero dahil ang gatekeeper dyan ay ang customs, parang ang lumalabas nowadays is ang ini-import ay parating yung low quality rice. The way we did, the importers are paying the customs duties, dun sila sa pinakamura. Lahat ng bigas na ini-import nila, yun yung low quality kahit hindi. So dun nangyayari din yung corruption. And so binabaha tayo ng murang bigas and pahina ng pahina ang ating farmers. Pero dun din sa Rice Tarification Act, ang sabi, yung taripa na makokolekta, which means mas konti na siya dahil walang pumapasok na high quality, di ba? Na mataas ang taripa. So, ang sabi is, yung kokolektahing taripa, gagawing pondo yan to assist the farmers. So, basically, what was the solution of the Congress at the time? Ayuda sa magsasaka. O, kamusta naman yung ayuda na yon? May narinig na ba tayo? Ganong kalaki na ba yung pondo na yan? Kasi dapat umaabot na yan ng 10 billion or so. Pero saan siya ginagamit? Sinong may hawak niyan? Wala na po masyadong duties ang NFA. So ang humahawak doon sa rice tariff ay ang DA. O alam niyo na yung nangyayari. Parang hindi corrupt ang DA. Ano? Let's pretend for a minute na hindi siya corrupt. Ano ang ginagawa nila dun sa pondo na yon? Mibili sila ng makinarya, yung makinarya nandun sa local government. At yung mga farmers, pwede nilang hiramin dyan if there are enough farm equipment. Otherwise, pila-pila sila dyan. Meron din daw assistance sa fertilizer. Pero hindi po lahat nabibigyan ng assistance. Bakit? Parang, kumbaga, for purposes of liquidation, ito, meron pa kayong picture taking, ito, nagbigay kaming assistance sa fertilizer. So, ano yung fertilizer assistance? Nagkakaroon ng vouchers. Mamumunbod sila ng vouchers sa mga magsasaka. Ewan ko kung bakit hindi mismong pera, pero vouchers. In theory. Pero actually niyan, yung mga vouchers ay dumidiretso na dun sa mga tiwaling opisyal or dun mismo sa mga nagbebenta ng fertilizer. And therefore, pwede nilang i-report, ito, maraming bumili sa amin, pa-reimburse. So yun, kahit wala silang actually nabenta, nare-reimburse sila dun sa assistance sa fertilizer fund. Okay? Ubod ng tahimik ang ating DA. Parati nilang sinasabi nagpaayuda sila sa farmers, parati nilang sinasabing, may assistance kami dyan sa mga rice farmers, fertilizer support, pagbili ng semilya, pagbili ng chuchu, ganyan. Pero, ang pinakamalaking gimmick dyan ay, of course, kung sino ang may hawak. At kung tama ba ang mga listahan ng mga benepisyaryo. Ngayon, tama ba? Pag tinanong nyo, kailan yung last time ninyong sinurvey kung how many rice lands we still have at ilan pa ang mga magsasaka? Nagparehistro ba kayo ng mga magsasaka? Mayroon ba tayong mga pangalan, mukha, at pagsusukat sa kanilang mga sinasaka? Yan ang isang pinakamalaking scam dyan. Okay. So, eto ngayon so, binatikos talaga natin, lalong-lalo na si Secretary Sani Dominguez, kasi obviously from the get-go, hindi nag-work ang rice tarification law. Fail. Punta na tayo ngayon sa Marcos administration. Yes, Tol, we will blame this president. You know why? Because given his political capital, he can, number one, have the Rice Tarification Act repealed, or two, make sure that the beneficiaries are duly listed, nagkaroon ng maayos na survey dun sa rice lands, at nakikita natin that there is an actual exchange and assistance to the farmers. However, even the president knows na may problema talaga dyan sa sistema na yan. And ayaw niya noon ng ayuda. Ang sabi niya, we must empower the farmers. And so, doon pa lang sa unang SONA, sinabi niya, we will fix the logistics system. My father set up the FTI, Food Terminal. At dito dapat nilalagyan ng refrigeration. Doon sa mga regions kung saan maraming nagsasaka ng bigas, maglalagay ng grain silos. Ito po ang dapat pinaggagamitan ng pondo ng Rice Tarification Law. Alam ng presidente to at bahagi ito ng kanyang plano nung siya ay umupo bilang kalihim ng agrikultura. So, Trolls, kamusta na ba tayo ngayon? Umupo bilang kalihim ng agrikultura ang ating Pangulo at alam niya ang kanyang mga gagawin. Alam niya kung ano ang solusyon dito to break the cartels and to make sure that the farmers get a fair bargaining price for their product, while at the same time making sure that the consumers are not paying too much. Nagawa ba? Ang masakit sa damdamin is, alam niya ang solusyon. May ginawa ba? Wala. May access siya to the Rice Tarification Fund. May ginawa ba? Wala. Nakiusap ba siya sa kanyang pinsan? Pa-repeal mo nga yung Rice Tarification Law, hindi yan nag-work. Ginawa ba? Hindi. Are you still going to blame the Duterte administration for the Rice Tarification Law when the president, with all his political capital, with the fact that his cousin is sitting as the Speaker of the House and a person who seems to be quite cooperative with the administration, Senate President Mig Zubiri, do you honestly think that they would say no to the president if he said, repeal that law? And did he ever ask? So, if you're going to ask me, if FPRD did not sign the law, are we going to blame the government now? Hell yeah! We're going to blame, whether PRD signed that law or not, we're going to blame this admin because this admin is in power. This admin has still a high political capital when dealing with the legislators. Alam ni Presidente ang solusyon, alam niya kung paano gagawin. At dapat ginawa niyang priority ang pag-repeal ng Rice Tarification Act o pag-amyenda nito. Nagawa ba? Alam ko, nag-hearing. Naipasa ba? So, if you're asking me if we're going to blame this government, hell yeah! Okay? And don't try to tell me otherwise because this was my reporting beat in Carambola before, nung buhay pa si Jojo Robles. Okay? I also was with the NFA for a while and we investigated this upon the instructions of the former president. So, are we clear on this? We know what the problems are. And don't try to tell me, mahal naman ang rice all over the world. Sure, mahal. But we have our own very specific set of problems that make for the reasons why rice is still expensive in a country that is one of the oldest agricultural societies and possibly one of the first in civilization to cultivate rice. Okay? Yes, archaeology. Okay? So, are we clear on the rice? Are we clear that nobody, troll or otherwise, can tell us that we cannot blame this administration for what happened? Sure, we in fact blame the Duterte administration for passing the Rice Tarification Law. And it was one of my issues against President Duterte. So, well, don't you dare try to tell me that there is no blame in this administration. And no, we're not asking them to solve all the problems that supposedly took decades. Of course not. Kayo na mismo yung nagsasabi, RTL yung problema. Tapos isasabihin ninyo, he can't solve that in 2 years. BS, that's pure unadulterated cow manure. Sorry. But yes, he can within 2 years. Yes, he can. And at the very least, he could have put up those grain silos as a matter of, oh, look, it can be done. Look, may achievement ako because I put this in Zona 1. Oh, really? Diba? It isn't rocket science and the president knows the solution. He sat as Secretary of Agriculture and he has all the political capital necessary to have made those changes. Now, why didn't he? Here's the question. Why didn't he? Some people say that major contributors to his election campaign include those people who are the smugglers and hoarders and or associated with some members of his cabinet. Okay? And no, I'm not mad at this administration, Rob Paredes, because I know for a fact why it is going wrong. Okay? And don't try to say that bitter ka lang. Even assuming that I was, which I am not, even if I was bitter, it doesn't change these facts. It doesn't change the fact that the Department of Agriculture is sitting on billions and billions of pesos from the rice tariffication fund, from tariffs, maybe billions. On the other hand, just exactly how much are they getting? Tumataas ba? Dumadami ba? We are number one in the world. Now, the question is, how much money is now in that fund? Number one tayo sa importation. Okay? Don't BS me na so, madam, if you were the president. I am not. Okay? But I did do the research. And don't hypotheticalize this thing. The president is there, he is the president, and he knows the solution to this problem. Don't try to make excuses for him. He's the president of this country. We should expect better from him. Better from the person who understands what the problem is. And if he has trouble with that, he only needs to call up his sister, who also knows the problems in the Rice Tariffication Act. Yes, I'm going to beat you down in arguing about this, because it's the one thing that I kept an eye on since 2017. Sabi ni King Loyola, 10 billion assured by law only in the first year kasi yan po ang inallocate ng Congress. Oy, walang sinabi siya. Oy, merong nagtutrol dito who's clearly trying to set up false antecedents. Sabi niya, nangako daw si Pangulong Duterte 7 pesos per kilo. That's bullshit. That is pure and unadulterated cow manure. Sorry, that's not it is so not true. Okay? There were no promises on that one. But he did instruct the NFA administrator, whom I personally talked to several times during the course of 2018, 2019, and 2020. So, no, don't do that. That I will know. Right? Pinangako ni Digong. Besides, no matter what mistakes or failings the previous administration made in this matter, this president still bears blame for not acting, right? For not using people's money to set up the logistics system, to catch the hoarders, to ask the Congress to pass a law on hoarders and smugglers. Where is that? He could reduce the price of rice. He could very well do it, but he doesn't. He could reduce the price of food, but what did he do? He approved the extension of tariffication on pork. That's on him. So don't try to make it look like he's blameless in this one. That's BS and a half. The president always bears some blame. How much blame is only determined by whether or not he acts on this. Okay. Now, am I now, am I angry? Hell yeah. And I am entitled to be angry. You know why? Because I'm a citizen of this republic and we deserve better. I deserve better. I deserve cheaper rice. And I will not take that, the offal, which is another word for manure. I will not take that offal that I should just stop eating rice. Again, BS and a half. Okay. Sabi ni Ma'am Lisa, Manny Piñol was the DA. I remember he was against the RTL. Yes, but Secretary Sonny Domingo was also against him. Yan, sabi ni Noel Diaz, hashtag Chinito, sabi ni FPRD, i-less daw ng 7 pesos, hindi 7 pesos per kilo. O see, you're not seeing this, but I am actually raising my middle finger at you. So. Sabi ni Debbie, tumaas din ang presyo ng bigas during the Duterte admin. Ang ginawa ni tatay, pinabuksan ng mga bodega. I so love it when you guys remind me of what the former president did. So pataas lang ng pataas yung regard ko para sa kanya. Sabi ni Christopher Angeles, big-time rice smuggler still operates. Wala kasing maparusahan, mas lalo pang nang tsan-charan-charan. Ano yung tsan-charan-charan? You guys crack me up. Ay, sus! Sabi ni MJTV official, bakit nagsisiraan ng mga politiko sa Pinas? Imbis na magtulungan para sa mamamayang Pilipina, madam naman. I don't think you were born yesterday. They're in competition with each other. Don't expect cooperation. They will only do that if it furthers their interest. Huwag na po tayong mag-Pollyanna statements like that. Let's not make really naive statements like that, Mariosep naman. We know that they're not going to be able to do it. Sabi ni The Cooking Dad, COVID, war of Russia versus Ukraine, stable ang bilihin. Itlog, meron pang 3, 4, 5 pesos. Biglang pinakamahal, 40 to 42 pesos. Ngayon, open economy, average 60 pesos. Kalokohan. Sabi ni Ma'am Lisa Galve, you're entitled to be angry and so am I. Yeah, ma'am. Inayos LG ni Kuting at Lisa ang daloy ng smuggling. Uy, grabe naman. I don't think so. Ako, I blame him for the kapabayaan. But yung mga ganyan, I need to investigate that more. Juana Austria says wala pang maayos na pinagtutunguhan ang mga usapan dahil kung alam bakit di siya magbigay ng tunay na solusyon sa lahat ng problema, daming secretaries niya for the different departments from Cavite. Yun na nga. Alam nyo ba, and quite recently, you can actually Google this, quite recently, sinabi pa nga ng ating kalihim ng agrikultura na the problem is the logistics system. Oh, ha? And sabi niya, it will take about so many billion. I think he said 12 billion to fix it. Ang kasunod nun, I still don't know where to get the money. Ba, anong ginagawa ng pambansang pinsan dyan? Di ba? Ano bang ginagawa nila? Hindi ba gutom ng mga tao dapat pinagtutuunan ng pansin? So anong gusto niyang gawin? Hindi, kung nagugutom kayo, ayuda na lang para isang beses lang. Bakit nag-all caps itong mga ito? Sabi ni Ma'am Stormy, alam ni PBBM ang tamang gawin, kaso walang pera sa tamang gawain. Pero may pera para dun sa ano, PI. PI talaga lahat. Sabi ni Julia, mahina ang advisors. Maybe, but in the end, he has to take responsibility for it. Pinag-usapan nga namin ito ni Senadora Amy. Ayan na, si Super Ate na. Alam din ni Super Ate kung ano yung problema. Ay, pag all caps, papansinin ko nga at hindi ko babasahin. Ganyan ako kasutil. Sabi ni Damon, mute ko ba for 5 minutes itong mga all caps? Sabi, warningan niyo muna. Reminder, wag po mag all caps, hindi po babasahin yan. At sa TikTok, mamamute kayo. Sabi ni Jasmine, marami siyang advisors kaya nagkaganyan. Ngayon, meron ako napansin kasi hindi na makahirit yung mga trolls. Ang sinasabi, napakagaling nyo. Ano yung solusyon mo kung ikaw ang ganyan? Darling, I don't need to do that. Ang karapatan magsalita at magpahayag ay hindi kailangan na mayroon ng ibigay na solusyon. Pwede ko nga bakbakin yan. Araw-araw. Karapatan ko yan. At hindi ako kailangan mag-isip ng solusyon. Trabaho yan ng mga taong na nasa gobyerno. Trabaho nila yan. Binabayaran natin sila para mag-isip. Binabayaran natin sila para sa kapakanan natin. Ngayon, kung ibebenta nila whatever powers they have to the highest bidder, well, kasalanan ni rin yan ng mga taong in charge na hindi nag-i-impose ng nararapat na disiplina. Again, ako ba ang kailangan gumawa niyan? Tayo bang taong bayan na hindi naman nakaupo sa gobyerno? Tayo yung ini-expect nila na mag-come up with a solution? Uy, wag ka. Not only is that not fair, but it's just ridiculous. Do you hear yourselves? Ha? Kulang sa seminar yung mga trolls. Totoo lang. Diyan. Ay, pa. Masyado maraming honey. Okay. Maaga ako nag-live kasi andito si Dion. Para may maghahatid ng siya at saka magtatanggal ng cats from the table. Di ba na, Dion?
Oo. Kasi gusto rin mag-live.
Ano na?
Gusto rin mag-live ng cats.
Oo, totoo yan. Sa gabi, pag wala ka, grabe yung cats and dogs. So, hi kay Babe, di side with Dilawan, not familiar po kasi, sabi ni Babe. Stick around and you'll find out. Kailangan. Sabi ni user, tama si Sas, di ayuda ang solusyon. Bakit pag si Sas, naaalala ninyo, ang tagal-tagal ko na rin sinasabi niyan. Kaloka kayo ha. Sabi ni Eminde? Karapatan natin magpuna kung may mali as taxpayers. Oh, Dion, open the door. Si
Okay. Nalipitan niya yung tsaka, ang bilis. Kailang money.
Ano?
Nalipitan niya yung tsaka.
Oh my gosh, so one more time. In the but it's buo. None. I gave it to you.
Sorry.
Sabi ni Catherine, how ironic. BBM always says that he's the son of FEM. Pero anong ginagawa niya? Sinisira niya ulit ang pangalan ng tatay niya because of his incompetencies. Asa na yung pangako niyang 20 pesos per kilo ng eleksyon? Ang iba niyang pangako sa SONA. Wala siyang pagmamahal sa bayan. Wala siyang pinagkaiba sa mga tinalo ni Tatay Digong. Wait, but we also have to be fair. Yung pinangako ni Presidente Marcos na 20 pesos per kilo is supposed to be the farm gate prices. Hindi yan market price. Yun nga lang, kahit yun hindi pa po na-achieve. Sabi ni LJ, the very first tragedy the BBM admin did was when they let go of Attorney Tix. Ay, ako pala yun. Promise na wala agad gana ko sa admin and pushed me to hear what Maharlika is telling the world. Sabi ni Ben Barsana, still a vote of not only one but majority of the Senate to pass a constitutional law or rules. Actually, majority of the Senate plus majority of the House. So, pero what is your point about this one? So, the reason I bring up political capital is because he can ask to produce a majority. He can actually produce majorities in both houses of Congress. Yes, he can, and I've seen it happen. May mga cabinet secretaries dyan na hindi dapat nakalusot, but political capital works. Merong iba na hindi talaga nakalusot because in that instance, there was just too much, too many issues. Sabi ni Crowfighter, anong solusyon mo? Kahit negative ang tingin ng iba sa UP, I've seen what academia can do with respect to the price of food. For example, saan maganda maglagay ng post-harvest facilities? Correct. There you go. In fact, ang trabaho naman ng media is to expose what the problem is. And yes, the academe can take up the slack, but so can government. In fact, para sa akin, ang gobyerno dapat, nagkokonsulta or nagdi-defer dun sa academe kung ano ang solusyon dito. Pero it also has to be practical. Good na, bye kay Great Sep. Sabi ni The Cooking Dad, build na pangako, nawala na nga PNR dito sa South, subway nga. Hindi na Yung mga right of way na naasikaso panahon ni Presidente Duterte, nung nagbago yung administrasyon, nagka-issue na naman. Nagmamatter din talaga kung sino yung nakaupo in certain aspects. Alam nyo ba na nga tayo dyan sa sa PNR until 2027 or 26. Grabe. Anong don't blame the president? Naku, siningit mo na naman. Sabi ni Ben Barsana, but as you said, your rights in living in a democratic country, don't blame the president. Anong don't blame? Kasabi ko lang paano mo dinugtong yung right ko to speak and to criticize with the statement na don't blame the president? Meron po kayong logical disconnect. Ang daming kulang doon sa gitna. Itawid nyo po. Huwag po ganyan. Sabi ni Janet Bragado, never pa naka-receive ng ayuda ang family ko sa Pilipinas, ibibigay na lang daw sa mas nangangailangan. And my family sa middle working class na obligadong mag-tax. Paano yung ayuda dun sa mga almost poor na sinasabi ni Speaker Martin Romualdez? Sabi ni Tej, ano kaya reason mo bakit nagkamali si PRD about sa date ng araw ng Davao? Ano meron sa June 30? I cannot hazard a guess on that one. At wala ka sa topic. Sabi ni Blanca, di na kaya kayo makamove on sa presyo ng bigas. Haha, ako may libreng bigas kasi may friend akong farmers. Farmers mahalaga, ha. May libre pang ang mais at prutas. So, ano ngayon ang pinagyayabang mo? Anong di kami makamove on? Bakit kami mag-move on? Hindi niya tinupad yung pangako niya. Sana hindi siya nangako. Para makamove on kami. Ang kaso nangako siya . So Ma'am Blanca, grabe naman. Konti naman logic pag kayo ay pag kayo ay nagkukomento. Sabi ni user 117746, how true na ban daw si BBM sa Switzerland? Commenting on all caps. And commenting on all. Okay. I don't have enough information to be able to affirm that. So as far as I'm concerned, hindi pa po totoo yan until I see some kind of declaration. Sabi ni Carlos Vivi, grabe ka naman, marami naman nagawang ribbon cutting ang admin. Uy, sobra kayo. Wala naman akong sinasabing wala silang nagawa. Kasi in fairness to the President, nag-debt condonation siya doon sa mga sa mga remaining na magsasaka na nagbabayad pa rin sila para doon sa mga na land reform na lupa that went to them. Pero may mga nagsasabi na suspicious yon. Alam nyo kung bakit? Kasi there's a certain time period, I think parang 1 or 2 years, so may papasa yon 1 generation. And then pag natenga yon or hindi na capable na mataniman yon after so many years, maaari yung ibenta. So, I don't know, you do the math. Hindi naman ako naniniwala na gano'n. I think that in fairness to the President, on that instance, tama naman siya. Tapos tama rin yung bawal magtol doon sa agricultural products. Kumbaga, yung mga informal na checkpoint, tapos may bayad pagka may dumadaan ng truck na may agricultural products, di ba? Binawal na yon. Ewan ko kung paano yung yung execution nun at paano yung mga LGUs na sila mismo ang nagpatayo nun, mga barangay, mga munisipyo. I don't know if that is working, but it still is a good idea. It's one of those things, they add up eventually. Kaya lang, yun na nga, ang main problem dito is the logistic system at hindi niya po ginagawa. At napansin ko, yung mga galit dyan, since tablado na yung argumento, nandun na sila sa either, bakit marami namang tolls talaga on both sides? Talaga. Issue po talaga ang trolls, lalong-lalo na kung sila ay binabayaran ng government money.